We are on Enniscorthy visiting Trainer Paul Nolan, a trainer who's had plenty of success down the years, including at the Cheltenham Festival, including last year winning the Kimio with daily present. Step inside with us as we get the lowdown on his runners for the upcoming season and the plans and whether he can target more success at the Cheltenham Festival. Make sure to like and subscribe and follow us for more stable tours, and we'll now head inside to get Paul's views.
Basically started training, how would I say it, lads? Started training basically because I realised that I wasn't going to be able to get a living from farming. You know, my father depended on farming, so he brought us up through farming, but there's no way I was going to get a living out of the same farm. And he continued to get a living as well. So that wasn't going to happen, so I had to do something different. And it turned out to be horses. That was it. I wasn't sort of born into it, or I had no connection with horses whatsoever growing up along. First point to point I was at, I'd say I was 23 years of age. So I didn't, but I always loved looking at racing on the television and stuff, not from a betting purposes, but just from pure interest in horses. But that's when I started, so it was no real. But this was all full of sheep and corn and stuff, and we took out land as well. But but then it was just turned into slowly built it up into a training facility, and that's basically what it is now.
And how did you get enough experience, being 23 to now just
I was in Jim Bulger's for a year. I was that's basically the year there, and I got a few horses myself then, and just was on my own doing about 8 or 9 or 10. Then I got a young lad to work with me, and then James came home from England. We started getting bigger then, and that was it.
You had a successful time. We're the only second trainer to train free Galway hurdle.
Yeah, we were lucky in Galway. We were lucky in Galway, and you know, there's no point in saying, I suppose, Clone River we didn't run them all year to sort of go to do that, but the rest of them had won their maiden hurdles and their novice hurdles and their winners of ones or two, so there was no point in saying that they were set up with a load in hand or anything like that. You know, they'd been, but they just, you know, I suppose with the like of, say again, like had won his couple of races, but probably Power won on in Navan, and if he hadn't have won that, he wouldn't have got into it. Yeah. But nowadays, some of those, like say again, wouldn't have definitely got into a Galway hurdle. Now you want to be 130 plus to get in. Yeah. You know, nearly the same with the Galway plate. Yeah. They're all just far more competitive with higher class horses.
You've had plenty of big race winners as well down years when we're looking through. A lot of Grade 1 winners.
Yeah, we've been, you know, and you know, they were relatively, I won't say surprises, but they were, you know, relatively sort of ordinary stallions, and wouldn't have been big moneyed horses at the sales and stuff that turned out to be Grade 1 winners. And but you know, nowadays it's gone very hard to get the better ones. You know, any impressive winner of a point to point is making 300,000 plus. Yeah. Any of the horses in France, you know, that were bought for what you could call manageable money a few years ago, it's completely blown out of the water now. Yeah. There is the odd one that you'll hear about that would cost, you know, small amounts of money that maybe turn into be something, but it's getting more difficult, and but that's the way it is. You know, that's the way it is. If you're lucky enough to have them, then you have to be lucky enough that the owners can afford to hold on to them.
Yeah.
And but that's, you have to move with the times, and have to hopefully we'll be still lucky enough to get some of the good ones.
And just looking at some of your stats, your record at Cheltenham's fantastic. You've got 11% strike rate at Cheltenham. You've had 8 winners from 71 runners. Is the plan, obviously, do you like sort of build throughout the season? Do you build towards the Cheltenham Festival?
Yeah, well, there's a few of our owners would love if the horse was good enough, not to just go over to get tickets to get in, that basically they don't want to go if they didn't think they'd have a chance, and we wouldn't either. But that's the one thing about handicaps, you know, that you always have a chance in the handicaps, because, you know, the handicapper thinks he's giving you a chance. You might, you know, complain about maybe the rating that you have, or the weight that you got for the race before, or the races during the season. But at the end of the day, there's, you know, that's like some of the county hurdles and the curls and all. They're normally won by graded horses, be it on the way down or whatever. But they're normally won by experienced horses like that are relatively exposed. And, you know, we're hoping the last few years, you know, we were, Mrs. Milner won the Pertemps. She was, you know, she'd won her races before, so there's, you know, she was just a mare that improved, and she loved the track that day, and everything went well. Once everything went right for her, she was hampered a couple of times, but she won it well. Possibly a little bit unlucky with Feet of a Dancer last year. She just got caught in traffic, and she was just too far back. But, you know, hopefully, you know, you sort of plan when the ground gets softer now, and we gallop on grass and all. You sort of know where you are and what horses can end up there. But basically, we sort of, if they're good enough to go, we try and have this that we aim for Cheltenham.
Sandor Clegane's been a fantastic horse for the yard.
Yeah, he's probably, we probably thought he was going to be, you know, he would have maybe been that bit more successful. He has been disappointing in his last season or two. You know, he's not an easy horse to place now at the moment. He's probably still that bit high in the handicap. He was 7th or 8th there in the Kerry National. 7th, I think he was, or 8th in the Kerry National. 7th in the Kerry National. Didn't jump well enough, but came home reasonably well, which was encouraging. He's a horse that maybe, I think that if we've ridden him different ways, he's taken it up and kicked on and got caught as well. So, but maybe if he gets into a good rhythm of jumping the next day, we might sort of consider. We left everything off in the last day, tongue tie, blinkers, the whole lot, and maybe the next day we might just leave the tongue tie off and put the blinkers back on the way he jumped. He might be just that little bit more correct jumping wise with the blinkers on, so we might just put the blinkers back on the next day. We'll have a chat with the lads and see. We just try to do something different to try and get him to win. I'd love to get his head in front if we could get a beginner's chase that he's entitled to win without going up. We might look for something like that. From now on, it's going to be a little bit more difficult because the better horses will come out. But again, I think we'll tweak little things with him. We'll try and do different things because, again, I think the horse has ability, and it's up to us to try and sort of see, can we get it back out of him again.
And Peann Dearg won Christmas, 2 nice handicap chases, one at Christmas and then at DRF, and looks a bit lucky at Cheltenham, you know, like the standing starts and stuff. It seems to hamper it.
Yeah, absolutely. For sort of a horse that wears a hood for a reason, you know, he's a little bit highly strung. Took him a while to get his act together. Would kick hurdles out of the ground and was better over a fence. But basically, we didn't know what was suiting him. And in fairness to Jim Coffey, his owner, he loves Leopardstown, and he wanted to go to Leopardstown at Christmas with whatever he had eligible to be able to be entered. He said, go to Leopardstown if you can. And there's no doubt we wouldn't have. We thought he'd no chance. Yeah. And he came up and he won at Christmas, and then he backed it up then in February.
It was impressive.
And it was impressive that day. And you know, we were pleasantly surprised the way he backed it up. And but it was great. Yeah, he turned out a success from looking like he was very disappointed. But you know, he's won that pot, and there might be more to come from him as well.
Yeah, like 2 nice big handicaps to win those, aren't they? Really, and
yeah.
Those are big meetings and
absolutely.
Like that, yeah.
And you know, and it's, you know, that, and those are, every day is important, but those days are a little bit more special.
Cheltenham Festival winner last season, Kimio, a daily present. It must be exciting again to this season.
Yeah, listen, sure, he gave us a great day last year, and you know, he's had that wind operation, and hopefully that'll give him another bit of improvement. It certainly won't do him any harm anyway. So yeah, we're hoping if there's another win under his belt. I mean, he's won in Cheltenham now, and if he never wins another race, he's given us a great day out. But I think it's not over yet, and hopefully he'll give the Browns another win, and we'll stick to the long distance chases and hopefully end up in Cheltenham in March again.
Tell the Cameo try and return this ground.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think it'll be. He won't be ground dependent. It's never going to get that probably heavy in Cheltenham ever again anyway. So, he's been there twice and ran a very credible fifth on his first time over there, and then he won the next time. So, there's no point in saying he doesn't handle the track anyway. So, we'll see.
Jasmine De Cotte, he was placed in handicap at Leopardstown last season, then placed at Fairyhouse since.
Yeah, he tried to do away with himself in Listowel. Jack Hendrick unfortunately broke his arm off him. He just ran to the first and completely never bent a leg, galloped straight through it. Jack broke his arm, and then he went around loose, and the two fences up the straight that were dialed off because of the low-lying sun. The sun got into his eyes as well because he just galloped straight through it. And but he came home, and a few little marks on him, but he's okay. And hopefully he, on his run in Leopardstown, you'd imagine there's a handicap chase in him. And his form in Down Royal before he won in Kilbeggan was very good, with Duffel Court and a few gardens in it.
Yeah.
And on a line through that, he still could be well handicapped.
Yeah, I thought 113 I made note. I thought it looked quite well handicapped.
Yeah, he could still be, on the basis of his run in Leopardstown when he made a few awful mistakes as well, and was still able to finish where he did. I'm hoping if he obviously his jumping improves, but you wouldn't mind. He seems to be the best jumper in the place, and these mistakes and that fall the last day came from nowhere. I just couldn't believe that. And Jack had him lovely and settled and down the inside, plenty of light, but he just never bent a leg.
Rue Taylor won a bumper at Hexham actually, and was purchased since.
Yeah.
What's the plans for the mare? Is it?
Yeah, she won her maiden hurdle then. There was a horse lost the race and we got it for being second, and then she won a rated novice on her next run, which she didn't look likely 3 out, and she was in last place, and Sean got a lovely run up the inside and she hit the line well and won. Again, I think she's a mare that there's more improvement in, I hope. She was a little bit light in last year and stuff, and hopefully she'd come back in now in better shape from her summer's grass, and she's had a nice break, and she's probably one that she'll go handicap.
We'll have a bumper now and a hurdle race, so
yeah,
like nice prospect I suppose going forward as well.
Absolutely, and I said she's strengthening up that little bit, and she looks that bit better and a bit stronger this year, so hopefully there's another couple in her for this season. Iceberg Theory won his chase, his beginner's chase in Galway, beat Boston Rover the Gardens. Boston Rover now made a mistake at the last, but I still thought our lad hit the line well. Definitely a staying horse. Ground won't be an issue with him, and could be something to look forward to for the long distance chases. But I think he's a horse, sorry Sherwin. I think that the further he goes, the better he'll be, and he's just filling up into a bit of a horse. He's grubbing better. He was always a very light individual, but hopefully he looks stronger this year.
Yeah, Boston Rover's gone and won 3 times since.
That's right.
Yeah, decent boost to the form.
Yeah, it is, and again, if you watch that race now, I think Boston Rover was coming back off a bit of a break, and looked all over the winner turning in and slowed down coming to the last, and we got a good jump at it. But I still think we hit the line fairly well, and as I said, I think the further he goes, the better he'll be. Now that's Jane. She loves scratching feet of a dancer.
I think Peter Vidance had a brilliant season last season.
Yeah, you know, again, I suppose with her mark, she's still that little bit short of maybe possibly, you know, grade 3 even, but she's getting up there now that hopefully there's still a decent handicap in her. Because of her rating, she's sort of a little bit in no man's land that way, and you can see by her size, we probably keep her away from fences as long as we can. She's not over big, and we'll hopefully there's a decent pot still in her.
Will 3 miles continue to be the trip, is it?
We'll take a look at it. I think on softer ground you could drop her back that bit.
Yeah.
You know, she'll be versatile enough that way, but we certainly won't be starting off with any mentioning of good in the ground this year. We ran in Limerick first time out last year. She was a little bit soreish after it, and that was a mistake. So hopefully we're not stupid enough to do the same thing again. And you know,
she's got a bit of black type as well back end of the last season as well.
Yeah, she has. Yeah, I think she's black type a couple of times. But as I said, I think that she's a brave little thing, and I think that there's more to come from her. I think that she's a little mare that I'm looking forward to, and I think there's a big day in her.
Lovely looking mare as well.
Yeah, she's a grand little one, yeah.
She looks really well.
Yeah, she's a great, honest eye on her. So that's her. Let me see now what else is there. Right, what did you say that was? Conyers Hill.
Conyers Hill,
yeah.
Conyers Hill, the one who fantastic form last season. That's some really smart pieces for him. You look forward to.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, he's a horse that he's given the syndicate a few great days out, albeit, you know, he hasn't won too often. Very much, you know, a bridle horse. Has flattered to deceive a couple of times, but still gives the lads, you know, he still got his winning down Rye last year, where he battled well and hit the line well that day. In Cheltenham he came off it a long way out, and I actually was expecting it to be falling out the back of the television, but for a horse that normally just does it all on the bridle, I couldn't believe that 4 out he was being shaken up and he still finished 5th, so he ran respectable.
Yeah.
Again, possibly a little bit unlucky in Fairy House at the festival. He just I think that the winner that day got first run at him, and he just came at it, and he was probably just that little bit too far back. But he's not. He was a good second, but he's not an easy horse to ride as well. You can't hit the front with him too soon, and he's just sort of a hold up horse. But again, I think that, you know, with more experience over fences, he could be. He's definitely a horse to bring the lads to the nice meetings and the bigger handicaps, and you know, hopefully he'll get a big pot someday.
Is that the aim again? Like say all the big festivals and
that's
like
it.
the Grand Annual
that's
again.
That's it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's him. What else is there, Barry? Box jewelry, lad. I think that's it there. What? Park of Kings is there. All right, here's Park of Kings down here, lads. Do you want Park of Kings?
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this is Park of Kings. Again, possibly a little bit unlucky last year, especially in Leopardstown that day. Another couple of strides maybe he was up, and that was a great pot that day. Ran a cracker in Cheltenham, ran well in Aintree. Again, hopefully there's someday, you know, he'll go to the good meetings, and you know, if he can get his win or two to.
He deserves to get his head in front.
He deserves to get his head in front. He does. He's a horse that went up plenty for his couple of wins, and you know, but again, you can't complain. He ran very well in Leopardstown that day, to suggest that hopefully that he'll hit the line in front some of these days, and hopefully he will.
Must be good to have one for JP as well, is it?
Absolutely, sure. And you've a great chance of getting a good horse off JP, and he's probably have to go down as the best in the game. As regards to the support he gives everyone, and gives so many sporting teams and everything like that. He's just a great man, and hopefully we can get to the winners enclosure for him.
Would he ever plan ever to go chasing with him?
Probably will.
Yeah.
He probably will. That'll be the plan. He'll probably start off now. He'll probably, as you can see now, he's plenty big. He came back from Martinstown in fantastic shape. It's like coming out of a world's best spa. But he's doing his steadies away now, and he's started up his work, and I'd say we'll have a chat with Frank, and I'd say that's where he'll go. He'll probably go over fences next.
Yeah.
So way on way getting up, lads.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you have a ride on?
There he is, Santiago Speedy Gonzalez. About 7 or 8 years ago, I was coming along and a wasp went into my helmet. I went to slap the wasp off. Horse ducked, hit the bank. My head hit the bank at the far side of the road into the gripe. I got pins and needles in my leg for about 2 seconds. Never sat up on a horse again. That was it. Like visions of it.
Farfromnowhere was a point-to-point winner, a winner of 3 of 5 starts. Under rules, looks a nice prospect.
Yeah, delighted with her the last day. She was disappointed in Galway, but from the very start, missed the first hurdle, missed the second, and then she had to face the hill. So the whole thing was over very early on. And then we were sort of worried that, she hadn't ran that off, and would come back sort of shouldery and soreish after running on goodish ground. So we were just hoping then that hadn't left a sort of a scar in her mind as regards that. But she ran on lovely ground in Listowel, and we're very pleased with her, so hopefully she'll kick on from there.
Is it one, will she stay hurling or will she go on chasing?
No, I'd say she'll stay hurling for this season anyway. I know she's plenty of age and all to her, but we'll just try and see what mark she reaches over hurdles, and we'll take it from there.
Kiltealy Park looks a nice mare on a listed chase.
She did. We were delighted with that. She also ran a cracker in Galway, and she was a bit unlucky coming down into the dip the final time. She got hampered and made a bit of a mistake and flew home. So in Galway she was probably a little bit unlucky. So hopefully, hopefully over a trip and an ease in the ground are still better to come from her.
Will it be a handicap chases?
Yes. Yeah.
She's a good fifth at Galway, wasn't she?
She was a good fifth, not beaten that far, and if you look back at the race now, she was very unlucky.
So is there a trip or why?
I think that the further she goes, the better she'll be.
Yeah.
I think she sort of stays at it well, and I don't think the ground will be an issue, I hope.
Rock and Bar looks an exciting prospect, has some good form.
Yeah, she had some good form, had a bit of a setback after winning her bumper, and we ran her then in Punchestown, and I just think if she was a bit short that day, travelled like a winner and then got tired, but she's one of the ones that I'd be looking forward to going over jumps, and I should be one of the nicer ones.
Because the form of the point to point, the Kingston Queen, I think that won the point to point, is that one at Aintree, Pipes Horse, and then it's running graded bumpers last season. This looks a really nice prospect.
Yeah, absolutely, and I just think in the manner of she beat Willie's mare first time out in Galway. Yeah, and she probably was a bit disappointed in the winner's bumper after, but even at the third and the fourth, I think, have won, and they put a nice bit of distance between them. But it's just in her manner, we're very fond of her, and if we can keep her right, I just think she's a mare that could end up being decent.
Any targets for her or not?
No, we're just going to wait. She'll definitely start off in the Mayor's Maiden hurdle, and we'll see where we go from there. So hopefully she's as good as what we think she is.
Thedeviluno's been consistent. He's finished finished second in 3 of his 4 starts in bumpers. That looks a nice prospect to go hurdling with.
Yeah, that's where he'll go next now. I'd say the boys are fed up with trying to win a bumper, but I think that the horses we ran into in bumper races, we were very unlucky. I'm hoping now that he'll. We've no real plans on it to try and get into the winner's enclosure with him to try and get him to win. He's been consistent in bumpers. We won't be going for another one, and he's back in and he's doing his very near coming into full work now. So hopefully with a bit of ease in the ground, I'm looking forward to running him on soft ground. He's nice bits of form working wise on heavy ground, and I'm hoping that might be to his advantage. The softer it is, so. We'll see, but he's fine big horse. He's plenty of age now on his side, so he should have no problem picking up his maiden hurdle.
Cheers, thank you.
He sadly slipped on him the last day. This smoke. Coming all, placing a couple of maiden hurdles ordinary. Secrecies of Stone.
Oh yeah. Secrecies of Stone, would have a maiden hurdle on handicap chase at Leopardstown. It really impressed late, 1.5 lengths won by. Was unlucky in the ladies' nationals, running a massive race and then unseated 2 out.
Yeah, disappointing last now. Probably he was a bit short the last day and would come on from the run. Lucky enough he got soft enough for the last, but you don't like that to happen. We hadn't got him away on grass, and the gallop after a lot of rain was gone probably a little bit tight in itself, and he just wasn't as fit as we thought he was. So that's it anyway. But he's perfect and he's fine, and he'll run again in another handicap chase in a couple of weeks. Again, I think he's a horse that mentally and all he'll get that little bit better. He was very good in Leopardstown, albeit it was a very, very ordinary race. I think there's a good few non-runners in it, and they done a couple of fallers. There was 3 or 4. Couple brought down and stuff, so the race fell apart a bit. But I'm hoping that there's better to come from.
Well, those like stay in handicap chases again.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Stay in handicap chases.
Oh, nice big horse as well.
He is, and he's by the walk in the park as well, which gives you a great chance.
Yeah. Galway Festival's made a nice impression since going chasing.
That's right, he's not over big, and he was, got a nasty fall in Punchestown on his last run, and he hurt his shoulder. He's had loads of physio since, and he's very sound now, and he's not too far away from Maroney. He actually worked yesterday, and we're very pleased with him. He's had loads of physio with Leah Kent, who's been very good with him, and she's very happy. Checking him out the last time, she said that the muscle is completely built up again. So hopefully we'll make a decision whether we'll start back over hurdles now or not, or whether we'll go straight back to a fence. But he was running a lovely race. I'd say he was going to be second to Lecky Watson that day, and he won his beginner's chase in Punchestown as well, where he hit the line very well. And a little bit keen going in his hurdle races, but with a fence in front of him, he seemed to drop it out and spit it out a little bit better. And it's far easier, if these horses are not burning themselves up fighting against themselves, and hopefully that fence will hopefully, as I said, we'll probably make up mind now whether we'll start them off over hurdles or whether we'll go straight handicap chasing.
He was finished off really strongly in that race, behind like someone who was just come in there and...
Yeah, that's right. It looked like he was going to be a nice second. He wasn't going to beat the winner, obviously, but the winner went on to win in Cheltenham. And but he was running a nice race and hitting the line well, as if that the step up in trip might suit him as long as he continues to settle.
Exciting prospect, that.
Yeah, hopefully, if he stays right.